Hello, you're welcome to Enhance Your English Lesson with Sir Andy. And today we are continuing from where we left off the last time on subject verb agreement, where we started with determiners and then we learnt so many types under determiners. And today we are continuing from there to know the various subjects and then their respective verbs they accept in the English language. So join me as we go through, but don't forget to subscribe to our channel to receive more knowledge on subject verb agreement and other lessons we shall bring to you. Also click on the notification button so that you also receive notifications from us anytime we bring you lessons, and then call your other friends to also join as we take you through this lesson. And today, as we have on the board, we have this as there must be an agreement between a subject and a verb. A subject and a verb. There must be an agreement between a subject and a verb. And then in the English language, we're going to start with the various pronouns. That is the first, the subjective pronouns and then their respective verbs. So under pronouns, we have subjects like I being the first person singular subjects, and then the we being the first person plural subject. We have you, whether singular or plural, and they. And what we say about these subjects is this, that they accept the bare form of the verbs. The bare form of the verbs. And the verbs, we have forms of verbs. How verbs are formed. We have bare forms or bare verbs, and we have examples like go, play, eat, sing, etc. These verbs are considered as bare verbs because they have not undergone any change. They have not received any addition, or their tense has not changed, and therefore we regard these verbs as bare verbs. And then we have other forms as S forms of verbs, the ing forms, the ed past, past participle, but our concentration shall be fixed on the bare verbs and then the S or es forms. And that is what we are doing for this very lesson. And then what we say about these subjects, which are the I, we, you, they, is that they accept the bare verbs. The bare verbs. So in English we say I go, I play, I eat, I sing, and not I goes. No, that is bad English. If you really want to speak good English for people to appreciate your language, then some of these common errors you have to do away with them. So you say I go, I play, I eat, I sing. And then we also have the same things for the we, you, and they. So we say we go, we play, we eat, we sing, right? And so on and so forth. You go, you play, you eat, you sing. When we come to they, that is also go, play, eat, sing. And they here is the plural subject for he, she, it. He, she, it. That is when you are referring to some people which you are not part of the group, or a particular group which you are not part of. Then we use they for it. And we say they also goes with bare verbs. They go, they play, they eat, they sing, and so on and so forth. So as we progress, some of these things we must know them and then work with them so well. Now, as we are done with these pronouns I, we, you, they, and then we've realized that they go with bare verbs. Now let's come to the third person, singular pronouns. Third person singular pronouns. And the pronouns, we have third person singular pronouns, and then they are he, she, it. He, she, it. And then what we say about the he, she, it, though they are singular, but they accept a different form of the verb. Unlike I is singular, we accept that. But we have said that I goes with bare verbs. But he to being singular does not accept bad verbs, but rather accepts the S or ES form of verbs. The S or ES forms of verbs. And you know, in English, depending on the type of verb, then you can say whether this verb will accept only S or ES. So we have verbs like goes, as we have go here. So which means that in English, go goes with ES. ES. So that is the form. So it becomes goes. We have plays. You can see play here, and then you only add S to it. But for the go, you have to add ES. And then we have eat having S, and then sing having S. The difference is that anytime a verb ends with a vowel sound, like O, it is advisable you add ES to that verb. To change it from the bare state to the S form or the ES form. And that is how it is. So we say he goes, he plays, he eats, he sings. So he goes to school every day. He goes to school every day. He plays football. He plays football. He eats rice and stew. He eats rice and stew. And then we also have he sings. He sings. It goes the same for she and then it. She goes. She plays. She eats. She sings. And then it goes. It plays. It eats. And then it sings. So as we've learned something, about the third person singular pronoun, I will want us to go a little further onto this to find out their respective nouns, or the nouns which are changed to pronouns to accept this, so that at least as we progress, we will know that, well, when we use this noun goes with this verb. So let's take a look at some examples. Okay, so this is also a further knowledge on what we just learned on the third person singular pronouns. So as we have these examples, Daniel plays football. Daniel here is a noun, and it's a singular noun, and that is why it goes with a verb like plays, as we've learned there. So if you change this noun to the pronoun, it becomes he. So it is he plays football. He plays football. And let me introduce you to this adverb, always. Always. Some speakers of the language believe that anytime you use always in between a noun or a subject and then a verb, the always agrees with the subject, and therefore the verb following after the always must be a bare verb, which is wrong. So it becomes Daniel always plays football, and not Daniel always play football. That is one thing that we should also take note of. Daniel always plays football. And it goes the same thing for this, which we have changed from the noun form to the pronoun form. So which becomes he always plays football. He always plays football. And that is how it's supposed to be. And then the second example is Rose eats rice. Rose eats rice, and becomes she eats rice. She eats rice. And then we have the dog plays with my children. The dog plays with my children. It plays with my children. The dog plays with my children. And we shall learn something about nouns as we progress on our studies in future, which we shall be introduced to nouns like common nouns and why it must accept the definite article or an article, whether indefinite or definite. So the dog, you are being specific, and it becomes it plays with my children. And that is how these examples should be as we are enhancing our language. Now, as we've learned something about bare verbs and then the S or ES forms of verbs, these are the forms of verbs, I would want us to progress to the subjects and then their respective auxiliary verbs. Subjects and then their auxiliary verbs, and which auxiliary